Welcome back to Eagles and Birdies. We are here for episode 6 of Meet the Designer, and we have Pakman. So, Pakman, really appreciate you coming on and really interested to learn about your background. I think everybody knows you who knows GSPro, so we're all excited to hear a little bit about you. So, why don't we get started with, who are you in real life, and then how did you come up with Pakman as a handle?
My name is Sunny Pak. My full name is Sung Jun Sunny Pak. I mostly go by Sunny these days.
Okay.
So you can call me Sunny. I live in Westport, Mass. I'm originally from Korea, actually. I came to the States. I moved to the United States when I was 13, and I've been here ever since.
Okay.
So I lived in Seattle area for a while. I went to high school there, and then I came to Boston area for college, and I got stuck and never left.
So Seattle all the way west, and now you're all the way east.
That's right. That's right. And I kind of like it out here. It does feel like home now. So the Boston area. So that's where I live. Pakman is just a play on my last name, which is Pak, Pak.
Okay.
So I handle Pakman for a lot of the accounts, for my email, Discord handle, whatever. So Pakman is used a lot for my username, and so easy to remember.
Yeah. And I knew who you were from other social media, so I pretty much kind of had that pegged and figured out, but wanted to make sure I had the story right. So appreciate it. So let's get started. How did you get into designing courses for GSPro?
Sure. I've always been an avid golfer in my life. Been golfer for probably a good 30 years.
Okay.
Started when the Tiger boom started, and I've been hooked ever since. I've been meaning to get a launch monitor to sort of make the. I had been meaning to get a launch monitor to make my practice sessions more serious, and really get good, practice a lot, all that kind of stuff. And I had a SkyTrack for a while, and then this device from Bushnell and Foresight, BPL, was being talked about and was about to launch, and I was looking into that. SkyTrack was wonderful, but it was kind of hard to set up, and it's a lower level tier and launch monitor. So I was excited. I got BLP. I was one of the early adopters.
Awesome.
And I was looking to play, courses and stuff. I was like, I got this thing. Even if it's at my laptop screen, I want to have a simulator experience. So I started researching and found GSPro, and really never really turned back. I learned that you could design your own courses, so I wanted to design Green Meadow at Jungle. Rest in peace. It's been bought up. It's going to be turned out. It's going to turn into a warehouse, which is very sad.
Yeah.
But I built that last year, just about a year, maybe just about a year, and I really loved it. And an opportunity came where I could look for sort of, what to do in terms of my career-wise, and developer for a very long time, and then software pencil pusher for a long time as well. And I was just looking to do something different, and I really got hooked. And I was like, I wonder if I could make this into something that I could do for full time and feed my family and so forth. And I knew Tech was kind of doing it, and he helped me a lot in the beginning in terms of and Run was doing it at that time too. So I really never looked back since.
That's interesting. So a launch monitor turned into building. How many courses do you have now? Public and then non-public on your Patreon?
Yeah, I think I have like 35 maybe
Okay.
published, maybe one or two more in GSPro, and about 30 or so on my Patreon. So 60 some odd courses, and I've built probably about 70 courses in total, I think.
Okay. So you might cut out there for a second. So your background, your day job, you were a developer, or I missed that piece.
Yeah, if the phone works better, I could just take this off. So if it cuts out again, let me know.
Okay. I think you're
But yeah,
good.
no, I was a software developer for a long time, maybe good,
Okay.
half of my career, and then
Okay.
software. I said software people pusher. I meant a software man for
Yeah, yeah,
probably the
yeah.
second half.
Okay.
Um, so I had some background in software engineering,
Okay.
which made it a little bit easier than probably others to pick this up.
Awesome. Okay. So we're gonna unpack a little bit of that. So unpack Pac-Man here. So you're a golfer. So why don't we talk about that, right? So sim golf, we can look up your handicap and all that on SGT, and I don't care about that. I want to know what you're doing in real life. So what's your handicap? How many times do you play? So let's start there.
Yeah, my handicap's probably right around 12. It's been stuck there for many years. Unfortunately, although I have the launch monitor in GS Pro, I'm building courses instead of practicing.
Yeah,
So handicap hasn't really improved that much. But that's good enough for me to really enjoy the game. Although I do
yeah,
want to get serious and get that down into single digits. I did have it as single digits for a couple of years, few years back. But then I lost the mojo. So
yeah. Yeah, it definitely requires, repetition, right? And lots of practice.
dedication, man.
Yeah, yeah. So how many
Yeah.
times a year do you actually think you get out?
I get out at least once a week, but that's only during the active season. You said you're from Detroit, so you know all about snow and
Yeah,
inclement.
yeah.
Got a long winter here too, so playing season is really like middle of April to, I would say, end of November. And I try to play at least once a week. If I'm lucky, twice a week. So I said I probably get fewer than 50, probably more than 40, somewhere
Okay.
around there in terms of real life rounds. But I'm
Yeah,
I'm playing a lot more, sim rounds, so that makes up for it during the winter.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, in your real life, you play a good amount, and you want to improve your handicap. So what's your strength in your game and what's your weakness?
My iron game is probably the best. Uh, Driving game can be suspect, but I can deal with it. But my short game is terrible. I mean, I chunk stuff. I've had a yips for probably a good 10 years.
Okay, okay.
Chip yips.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
funny. I think the a lot of sim guys that I talk to, it really makes their iron game strong, right?
Yeah.
Short game is tough. You can't, I mean, yeah, you putt on them, but it's not like putting in real life. And in those, 30-yard, finesse shots are really hard to do in a sim world. The, the driver, I think you can improve on that. But where I've seen the most improvement, and you mentioned in other guys, is I think that mid-range iron, that 5, 6, 7 iron, the Sims really, really help dial those in. And I know a lot of guys in GS Pro are like, hey, do you have par 3 courses? Me being one of them, and that's really why, because I could just hammer away at 5 and 6 irons from, some decent par 3 tees and just grind away at my irons. So keep
Yeah.
working at it, and that short game requires a lot of practice in real life.
That's right. That's right.
So you mentioned 30 some courses published in GS Pro, and then you've got your Patreon. And so can you talk a little bit about that? I know it's an opportunity to subscribe, support you, but get some access to some other courses. But a lot of questions come up in, forums and social media and what's this Patreon thing all about? And so you're one of four GSPro designers that has a Patreon. You want to go into a little bit of in depth on what that's all about and how that helps you?
Sure. Patreon, outside of GS Pro, is just a website for content creators to really get customers or supporters or subscribers, like podcasts. They have all sorts of different content creation. But for us, um, we are basically, it's a mechanism to have our supporters and give them something a little bit extra. For me, how it works is I would publish courses on Patreon first, and then it soaks there for a while, and then eventually, at least all the premium courses will ultimately make its way to GS Pro. But like right now, I release, let's say, was there something recent that I released? I forget. But I'm releasing courses that I did in December, so there could be good 4 or 5 months that
Okay.
the time that is spends on Patreon. I also have some courses that are just specific to Patreon, specialty courses. For me, it's part 3 courses. So I have like Bad Little Nine, which is supposed to be the PXG Par Parsons creation of like the hardest part 3 course in the world.
It's
Very,
hard.
very fun to play. Very, very
It
fun to play.
it's hard.
Yeah,
I put a playing video of that out on
yeah,
the channel too for everybody.
yeah.
So search through the playlist, you'll find it. And there are some wicked crazy pins on that course. So
Right. And then I have a few others that are very fun, premium part 3 courses in real life and premium bills as well. And I'll expand those, and those will be available just on the Patreon side. And Run might is doing something similar. He has basically these low poly kind of kids courses that are
yep,
just going to be on his Patreon. Same thing for Golf Boy and Tech as well, I'm sure.
yeah,
Um, so it's just a mechanism to, we're trying to do this for a living. Um, Producing courses takes basically a lot of time and effort. That's why it's so, kind of expensive. And then, being able to put these courses on the Patreon and get some additional value out of them is is making us be able to charge probably a little bit less for the courses. It's just a way to kind of, fit everything together. We have some steady kind of subscription, base. And so,
yeah.
but more than anything, it's really a way for you guys to show me and other designers who are doing this for a living some appreciation for all the courses, and really support us. We appreciate every subscriber, and that's what it's for. Show love. I know many Patreons of mine actually probably don't even actively download courses from my Patreon. They're happy to play my courses that are in game, or whatever, but they want to, show me support. So it's a
Right.
mechanism to do that.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get in the weeds, but for everybody, so when you join, Pakman's Patreon, you get access to, his course server, right? And then GS Pro pulls those courses in when you load that server location in. And so
Yeah,
that's kind
that's
of
right.
how that works. So and
Exactly.
I think Ralph Perkins did a video on it on GS Pro tips and tricks, so you guys can check that out too. But um, so yeah, so I would say some of the premium 9-hole courses you've got are super fun. I've got, again, I played some of them on my channel, and if you're looking for 9-hole courses, you nail it with those for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot
So
to mention one thing about the Patreon. Monthly, I have a drawing where for my subscribers, I do a free, premium course build, and I've done that since last August. So I think I built maybe like 9 of them.
oh, nice.
I'm gonna be doing another drawing at the end of this month, and whoever that lucky subscriber or patron is gonna get a premium build. And these
Nice.
are fun. These are a lot of times people's home courses, but they're really fun to build. So I love doing that. So
Yeah,
that's a
so
that's a big value,
yeah, for sure.
honestly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So perfect segue. So, how do you come up with a course that you want to, build and publish for GS Pro, for the general public? Like, how do you decide? There's so many courses, everybody's doing random things. Where does that idea come from?
Yeah, I mean, there are really three buckets. The foremost is the bucket where my clients or paid to have their home course or their favorite course built. So that's a big bucket. That's a bucket that I want to make sure that there's a backlog, and I want to build as
Right.
many of people's home courses as possible. People, so give yourself a big gift. Get your course built by a pro. So
Nice.
that's a bucket. And then there's I love building PGA Tour courses because I know that's gonna get play. There's this SGT, a community of people that follow the PGA Tour. You might know about the SGT, but it'll get a lot of play. So I love building them. I'd like to see what the courses that pros play look like. They might not have the most fantastic mountain backdrops and stuff, but these are
Yep.
like really famous courses. So I love doing them. So I've done a bunch of those. So
Okay.
that's a second bucket. Maybe I've done maybe 10. And then the third bucket is just the ones that I want to build for whatever reason, like Green Meadow Jungle. The first course I built that because hey, I play there. I want to be able to practice. I'm gonna get a new home course pretty soon, so I'm gonna be building that. I have a couple of courses and a couple of ideas that I picked because they look so spectacular, and
Okay.
that's a long time passion project. It might take me 3 months, 6 months. But I have a couple of those as well. So three buckets. The paid bucket, and the PGA stops, and my passion projects.
Nice, nice. So, let's talk a little bit more about you. So when you're not out working on your game in real life and you're not grinding away at your computer, what else are you doing?
I I I'm an avid Hold'em player, so I like
Okay.
to play Texas Hold'em when I have time. But it's a big time sink. It's something that takes a lot of time just to even play scheduled tournaments or whatever. And those are a big time sink. Even if I play cash games, that you have to sit down and kind of see a lot of hands. So every time you go, it's a 4 or 5 hours. So I'm unable to play as much as I would like because of course building. I've been to the World Series of Poker a bunch of times and uh,
Like been
played
to
at
it
big
or played
events.
in it? Played in it.
Played in it, yes.
Okay.
But I haven't played a big main event. That's a 10 grand buy-in. So maybe sometime soon.
Okay.
But yeah, I love playing Texas Hold'em, and I'm a pretty serious Texas Hold'em player.
Well, interesting. Love it. So if anybody in Discord or in the GS Pro community is looking for a big money game, call Pakman.
That's right.
All right, all right. So you're fairly, I guess, new, right? You said you've been doing this for a year, and you kind of told your story. I feel like you got more courses than what you said. It seems like your name's plastered all over it, but a lot are pumping out. So, what was the biggest challenge for you when you first got in to, that first course that you wanted to build? What kept you going?
Um, I'm a big tinker. So if I kind of put my head down and go like I want to figure this out, whether it's course building or particular piece of software or whatever it may be, if I get kind of hooked on it and love it, I just don't even know how the time passes. So I was able
Yeah.
to really kind of dig into it. Um, the pieces that scare me the most is the 3D modeling, which I don't do very much of, because I know very little, little experience in that. But even the Blender, pieces and things are pretty well explained by all the wonderful videos and awesome community that we have. So yeah, anybody who wants to give it a shot, be a matter of time and persistence. Really, nothing else. Nothing can really stop you if you really do want to build it, because there's awesome help out there.
Yeah.
Um,
So, what I've uncovered through Meet the Designer is everybody's kind of got one thing that they're really, really good at or have the most knowledge about. So, what would that one thing be for you?
other people might have other opinions, but I think I'm pretty good at manipulating uh, satellite texture. So I take pride in taking overhead satellite images as a starting point and manipulating them to get the colors that I want and the look I want, while keeping all the details and removing the parts that I don't want. So yeah, that's called sat shading or satellite shading in
Okay.
GSPro course building speak. So yeah, I pride myself in that, and I think what that does to a course is give you sort of hyper realism and immersion, because it just does look more like photorealistic, because it's got the imperfections that are really there in real life instead of a kind of a perfect looking carpet.
Yeah, I do notice as I play different courses, some are perfect carpets, and then others have divots and brown spots, and that's the way they really are, right? So I kind of like
Right.
both, right? I mean, I love when there's great architecture and it's just a public muni course that can't afford to keep it up. And in GS Pro, we're able to make it perfect, like a pristine private club, right?
That's right.
But then I also like to see, divots on tee boxes and burned out spots in, desert locations or whatever it be. So
Yeah. Even perfect country clubs have variations on their surfaces. And then, they don't have rough going all the way to the pavement of the parking lot, for example. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, right.
there's value in working with live images versus sort of stock images. Now with V4 version of the tools, it's making it a lot easier for designers to take sort of these computer generated stock textures and add variation. The,
Yeah.
the 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 tool makers have done awesome things to make the V4 versions, to make great looking courses easier. So come join the party. You can do it. Oh
Yeah,
wait,
I
no,
mean,
hire me to build it. What am I
yeah,
talking
yeah, yeah, right, right. Yeah, tons of, every week it seems like I'm doing a flyover for some new designer that it's their first course they built. So love it. And there's a lot of enthusiasm around it, and community's super supportive. So appreciate you. I know that you help a lot of the new guys with Sat Shader or LiDAR and things like that, from what I've gathered and talking to other people. So that's huge. Okay, switching gears a little bit on you. Back to getting to know Pakman, Sonny. What kind of music are you into? So we pulled up your playlist. What 5 songs or genres you got going on?
You're gonna find, what's annoying. What's annoying is that I walk down the supermarket aisles now, and whoever builds that playlist, I love all the songs on it. So yeah, that's what I listen to, like 80s, 90s music, 80s, 90s music. 80s, 90s music is kind of my go-to, because that's what I grew up on.
Okay.
But I listen to some classical music as well, especially violin music,
Okay.
violin concertos, and I love kind of a synthesizer pop kind of music from early '90s. New
Okay.
Order, Depeche Mode,
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. Out of all the newer stuff, I love like Imagine Dragons, Rihanna, just really good quality bands.
Yeah. Big names. Do you play any musical instruments?
I dabble at a little bit of piano. That's it. And
Okay.
awesome karaoke attempt. That's an instrument, right?
Okay. So we might have to bring you back and do a little bit of like Imagine Dragon karaoke or something here.
Yeah.
We'll put you on the scene. Maybe you'll be on American Idol before we know it. So love the music choices. What about the screen? Binging anything? What are you watching on screen?
Man, I haven't really watched any sort of long format stuff in a long time. I keep because like I'm in front of a computer screen all the time. I keep consuming a lot of like short form content, like
Yeah.
bits of YouTube here and there. I guess if I had to pick a show, I mean, like I watched The Walking Dead from like beginning, all the episodes,
Okay.
Breaking Bad. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's already going back like 10 years, isn't it? It's like 10 years, right?
It's
So
been
yeah,
quite a while. Yeah.
yeah, I haven't watched anything new in a while. I watch a lot of Korean shows. Actually, I lied. I watch a lot of Korean drama and sort of K-pop entertainment stuff with my wife, and I love that stuff. So
So is
K-drama.
that is that like through your cable provider or like streaming?
No, yeah, streaming. I subscribe to a site that sort of provides all that content. Cool
Okay.
stuff.
Okay. You ever make it back to Korea?
Yeah, I go there probably every 2-3 years or so, every
Okay.
either summer or winter for a little while.
Still have family there then?
Extended family, but my mother just moved there, so that'll be I'll be there more often, I guess.
Okay.
She
Okay.
went back. She went back to Korea. So
Okay. Nice. I've never been there. Work with a couple guys that go there often to visit family, and they always have interesting stories. I'm always picking their brain on what were they up to. So
they're crazy about golf over there, and they're
yeah,
specifically crazy about they call it screen golf, but
yeah,
simulated golf. Like you can go a block without a place that has a sim, and there's like a pro tour with ads and like real money and stuff for simulated golf.
yeah. I've seen some sim lounges or whatever you want to call them, and like
Yeah,
the floor moves and like
yeah, exactly. They have those
all kinds.
plates that move with the license. Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
there you go, right? Cook, bring us some technology for our sim studios for SGT to have our floors move.
Hey,
um,
for the viewers, I just want to say this because I keep getting low battery warning on my phone here. So if I just cut out, thanks, see you later. But hopefully that doesn't happen.
uh, well, you were planning to charge it for that extra hour, right? Because inside joke, everybody. We got our time zones mixed up here, but
That's
we
right.
got it done. So, what are you working on now that we should be looking forward to?
I'm working on Muirfield, I guess, Village, where the Memorial Tournament is on. So that
Okay.
starts for SGT next Monday and for PGA Thursday. So it's getting there. I ended up doing a fundraiser for this. So another plug, if you guys can do that, that'll be great. 10% battery remaining. But yeah, I started a PayPal fundraiser. If you go to Discord or look at Facebook, you see some posts around that.
Okay.
I'm getting help from C Sim Golf, or I've hired him to build some key structures. He's amazing. So it's gonna be epic. I'm gonna put in a lot of time from now until it goes. Heads on that stuff right now. It already looks great. So please donate. Make it worthwhile. I say this because a mechanism like this PayPal fundraising, if it works, it allows me to say, okay, I'm going to take on another project like this because I think it's working, and I can squeeze this in between client projects and make it work. So it's kind of a testing ground. The support has been good, so I feel really positive about it. But Yeah,
it's I see all the time like, hey, we want this course built. Can we all pool our funds together and have it built? And I think
right.
in the past it hasn't worked, but this is an opportunity where you bring a premium course with some other amazing designers who have special talents, and everybody can kind of chip in to support all of you guys who bring us all this, free essentially content to GS Pro.
Should be awesome.
Yeah, no, I saw the pictures. It looks pretty good. So although that course is hard,
Oh yeah, yeah. It'll murder you, but it looks cool.
yeah, but I'm sure our one and only Bob will hold the course record within the first hour of it being released. So
Yeah, Bob Chung is something else, and his, his a character. I love his setup with the where you can kind of see him. Looks like he's really swinging in the course is pretty awesome, and he's
yeah,
obviously a great golfer.
we're gonna have to tell him, we plugged him 30 minutes into this video, so he watches the whole thing.
Yeah, that's right. No, he'll watch this.
Well, hey, Sonny, I really appreciate the time and love the Texas Hold'em insight. That's what this is about, right? Every one we've done, we get one little nugget of info that we would have never known. And that's the whole goal and mission here. So really appreciate the time, appreciate, all the hard work and everything you do. And for everybody, Sundays, 8 a.m., meet the designers out on the channel. We'll do the flyovers for as many of these GS Pro courses as we could keep up with. They're coming out, 5 to 10 a week, and we're grinding hard to keep up with them while still playing real golf now that it's summer, and holding a real job. But we're doing our best. So keep watching the channel, like, subscribe, many more of these coming. And once again, Sonny, appreciate the time and opportunity, and thanks for everything you do.
Thank you. Thanks for the time.
All right, we'll talk to you.
Take care.